NCIS has been one of the longest running shows of all time, with season 19 currently airing. Given the number of seasons, one would imagine that fans are really enjoying the way things have played out so far, right? Wrong. Fans are actually disappointed and think that NCIS is getting worse over time. In today's video, we're going to talk about how the real reason fans think NCIS is getting worse over time. So, why do fans think NCIS is getting worse over time? In terms of ratings, NCIS has a viewer rating, which isn't very surprising considering how long the show has been running for. However, fans do agree that a high viewer rating does not say much about the quality of content. Recently, a discussion among fans arose about the quality of NCIS content. A lot of fans confessed that while they initially really enjoyed the show, it has now lost its spark. The discussion started with the fan questioning whether they're the only one to think that the plot lines have gotten weak and have way too much touchy-feely nonsense. Their opinion was shared by not one, not two, but many other fans who confessed that the show has indeed lost its luster. Fans stated that maybe the departure of characters like Ziva and Tony was where it all started. They highlighted how the new characters were shallow and lacked depth, while the older characters were made bland. Some fans pointed out how the show originally had incredible plot lines, where the older storyline wove in with other newer ones, but now feels strained and unoriginal. They stated that NCIS has grown inconsistent, with certain blunders and loopholes appearing in the plot. For instance, fans felt irritated when Torres couldn't recognize who Tony was, even though in season 14, Torres won the right to rent Tony's apartment from another senior. He should have known who Tony was and that he was part of the team. Despite the complaints about the quality of content, most fans agreed that they couldn't get past their attachment to the show. They confessed that after sticking to the show for so long, they wanted to see it till the end. Fans left disappointed after favorite characters leave. With a show that runs as long as NCIS has, there are bound to be a few changes over time. The cast is the life of the show, and when some of the audience's favorite characters leave, fans can't help but feel a little disappointed. For instance, a lot of fans still can't get over the departure of Cote de Pablo, who played the role of Ziva. Some fans even go as far as to say that the inconsistencies in the storyline are an after effect of her departure. According to fans, the writers weren't able to write a proper exit for her character, and they weren't able to properly develop the replaced characters or their story arcs. All this accumulated into a mess that is now the current plot. Another departure that left fans feeling disappointed and unsatisfied was that of Michael Weatherly, who played the role of Tony. Many fans confessed that they couldn't watch season 14 after Tony left. Other fans show their dislike towards Torres' character, saying that he came off as a wannabe Dinozo with an unlikable personality and lame jokes that never hit their mark. Recently, Maria Bello, who plays Jack Sloan, also announced her departure from the show. While the actress joined the show late in the 15th season, she was quick to capture the hearts of fans. Bello's departure wasn't sudden, and it was sometimes that many fans were already preparing themselves for, but still left them sad. Fans especially loved Sloan's chemistry with Gibbs. While fans did not get to see their pair end up together, they still got small glimpses of it when the pair parted ways with a sweet kiss. What's the worst NCIS season? The place for the worst NCIS season seems to be taken by season 14. As mentioned earlier, the departure of fan favorite Tony left many fans disappointed. Tony's departure left a void in the show that Torres could never fill in, according to many fans. His character was the life of the show, and after he left, many just couldn't bring themselves to enjoy season 14. To top it all off, season 14 also brought in two of the most dislikable NCIS characters of all time, Torres and Quinn. Yikes, it seems as if many mistakes were made during season 14. What's the worst NCIS character? As mentioned earlier, the NCIS cast has undergone its share of cast changes. Since we discussed some of the fan favorite cast members, it's only fair to talk about some of the least likable characters as well. Abby Sciuto, who played by Polly Perrette, is perhaps one of the most disliked characters on the show. Fans pointed out how her character is childish and obnoxious. Plus, they also found it frustrating how over the seasons her character is stagnant and does not get any growth. And Alexander Quinn was also voted as one of the least favorite characters by the fans. She made her entrance in season 14 and fortunately made her departure in the same season. Fans pointed out how Quinn didn't leave any memorable marks in the show and didn't form any meaningful relationships either. Many fans pointed out that Quinn's character was bland and didn't really have an impact. The entrance of bad characters and the departure of good characters definitely had an impact on the quality of content on NCIS. So, what's the worst NCIS episode? Quite a few of low-rating NCIS episodes are from the later seasons. It's not surprising that season 14 has one of the worst-ranking episodes. Episode 5 from season 4, titled Philly, had a rating of 7.3. The episode follows Gibbs and his team as they investigate the missing cause of an M16 agent in Philadelphia. It seems as if the episode just didn't have enough to keep the audience engaged. In addition to season 14, season 11 had not one but two episodes that had one of the worst all-time ratings. Episode 17, titled A Rock in a Hard Place, and episode 15, titled Bulletproof, had a low rating of 7.3. Episode 17 follows the team as they investigate an explosion, while episode 15 has has the team looking into a highway accident. It seems as if the plot of both wasn't interesting enough to keep the audience invested. The lowest rating thus far for NCIS has been an episode from Season 6. Titled Knockout, Episode 18 of Season 6 followed Detective Vance as he hijacks Gibbs' team to look into the disappearance and murder of a friend. It doesn't help that Vance had one of the most disliked storylines of all time. Fans just couldn't get used to his character that constantly puts roadblocks for the team. Is Gibbs leaving the NCIS franchise? Perhaps the biggest blow to the NCIS franchise is the departure of Gibbs, played by Mark Harmon. Recently, a statement was issued by Steve Binder, the showrunner, that Gibbs was indeed leaving the show. Season 19, Episode 4, titled Great Wide Open, saw the last of Gibbs, who decided to stay back in Alaska as his partner McGee flew back home. Gibbs, it seems, finally has found peace in Alaska and doesn't want to let it go. The scene had many fans feeling extremely emotional. Many even confessed to crying over the scene. In addition, many fans stated that they would no longer be tuning into the show. As we talked about earlier, the show has indeed seen many departures, but perhaps this is the biggest and most impactful. As one fan highlighted, NCIS is Gibbs. It's hard to imagine how the show will move forward without Gibbs. Binder did give fans a little hope when he said, "As an executive producer and dear friend, Mark continues to be an integral part of the fabric of the show. Our North Star has always been staying true to our characters, and that truth has always guided the stories we tell and where those characters go." So regarding the future of Gibbs, as longtime fans of the show may have noticed over the years, never count Leroy Jethro Gibbs out. One could argue that Gibbs' departure from the show could be a turning point for NCIS. The show could let go of old ties and finally move on towards a different future. Perhaps the reason why the storyline seems repetitive and stagnant is that the show has held on to other plot lines for too long. While Gibbs is precious to the show, it's better to part ways on a good note than a bad one, right? Imagine ruining the relationship you developed with your favorite character over 19 seasons, only to have it ruined because of bad or inconsistent writing. Maybe Gibbs' departure might leave room for newer characters to take on the spotlight. What are your thoughts on the newer additions to the NCIS franchise? How do you feel about Gibbs' departure? Do you agree with us when we say that his departure might open new gates for the franchise, or will it be the biggest mistake NCIS has made? Or do you think it's about time to end the series? We have so many questions. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'll catch you on the next one.